Well, it's definitely earned me more money. Just like Decatur, they were paying 70 cents more for summer corn there in August. We were hauling corn 100 mile for 40 cents, and we're making 30 cents, and I wouldn't even known that price was probably on there. I wouldn't have thought of calling Decatur, but when you go to the Grower's Edge page, then it takes all that running around out of it for you.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills. Today is the 14th and we had the market a bit mixed here. In the earlier part of the session, we were trading lower going into that morning pause before the day session opened up. And actually we started trading lower immediately after the day session opened up. But by the end of the day, we were able to find a little support. Now let's turn over to the iPad and see where we closed off the day. Corn trading down 3.5 cents, soybeans trading up 6 3/4 cents, and wheat in Chicago trading down 9 3/4 cents. Let's take a look at the chart here and see what sort of damage has been done. When you look at corn here, what was interesting is we moved down to that 405 level. When you look at the daily December chart, you'll notice we were back at those areas back in November. That was an area of support back then. Also notice that the 100-day moving average also support right around that area. So when you look at today's price action, which is the bar to the very far right of this chart, one, you'll notice it had very healthy volume. Two, you'll notice that we touched on that support level and we actually rebounded, closing closer to the highs of the day and the open of the day than near the lows. So that was very positive. This is a nice little a bounce, it looks like, off of the lows. We'll have to see if that bounce continues in the next session. I wouldn't be surprised considering the fact that today was the final day of the 5-day period where commodity indexes rebalance their portfolio. So all in all, with that being behind us, what we may see is some of this funny sort of trade action here start to dissolve away. And the other thing too is I do think that this is in response to the WASDE report. I think when you look at the WASDE report, I talked to a number of customers here today, and one of the things is, why is this thing trading lower here? I thought the WASDE report was bullish. Well, ending stocks did come in lower than expectations here, but when you look at what happened in that WASDE report, they revised the supply side. Now, they're not going to be revising that supply side anymore here, as this was the January report. So we got finalized yield, finalized harvested acreage. It's unlikely they're going to revise that anymore. Now, when you look at the demand side of things, that came in weaker than expectations. So we're still sitting with 1.8 billion metric ton or billion bushels of corn here that we need to work through. And unfortunately, in this last WASDE report, the demand side really wasn't all that strong. Feed use was revised lower. Ethanol use was revised higher. We'll get to that here in a moment, as we did get a nice little update of ethanol production this week. Now let's take a look at soybeans here. This is another interesting thing. I talked a little bit about it yesterday. We traded down near the lows of the range here. So we were down below $10, got down near the lows that we printed back here in the earlier part of December, found some support, closed near the highs. So this is a very positive price action. If you'd expect this lower side to act as support, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of days we get a little bit of a bounce here for the grains, which have sold off pretty hard following these WASDE reports that were released on the 12th. Now let's get into the weekly ethanol production, because when you look at ethanol production, we were up week over week. We were up 29,000 barrels per day. That's very positive to see. You can see the last 2 weeks were holiday shortened weeks. So this week, back getting positive. Now we saw a revision in the WASDE report on the 12th here, increasing ethanol production. You'll notice that now at this point, we're up 5.3% versus 2013. This compares to a 0.8% increase pegged by the USDA. Bottom line here is ethanol production continues to be very strong, and that's going to help support corn here. I don't think that this necessarily was one of the reasons why we bounced today, but it certainly was supportive, along with the technical support, along with the 100-day moving average, along with the fact that we had sold off very sharply the day before. So when you look at this week going forward, you're going to have to pay close attention to the fact that on Thursday we have a number of items that will be coming out and will most likely be market moving. First of all is Informa. Expectations for about 166.9 million bushels of soybeans going to crush. That would be a market, that would be a high, really a record amount of soybeans crushed for December here. The previous estimate was about 165, or the previous actual crush was about 165.3 million bushels, and that was back in 2013. So this is going to be important to watch. This is definitely going to impact soybeans here tomorrow. Now, we have export sales out tomorrow as well, and it's going to be important to keep an eye on what we see for wheat. This afternoon, we did see that Egypt's gas was issuing a tender for 55,000 to 60,000 tons of U.S. soft wheat, or a number of other types: Ukrainian wheat, Russian milling wheat, Australian standard wheat. So they issued a tender for 55 to 60,000 metric tons. It's going to be interesting to see if we get any of that. But in tomorrow's export sales report, let's keep an eye on wheat, because we've noticed that wheat has just been selling off ever since we reached that high back as a result of the Russian export curbs. And really, we need to see some more wheat export sales, and we haven't gotten a lot of them pushed onto U.S. books. So if we continue to have a weak export sales, I think there's no reason why we'd see wheat turn around just yet. Take a look at expectations here for corn. Market's expecting between 550,000 metric tons and 750,000 metric tons to be sold in last week, and soybeans expecting between 700 to 900,000 metric tons to be sold. Also keep in mind Informa's 2015 acreage numbers will be out. That will be a revision. They'll also extrapolate there into the production of the 2015-2016 crop. Guys, that's pretty much it for today's GrainTV. If you have any questions about what we talked about, give me a call, 877-472-4607. I'd be happy to talk with you about the market, about what I discussed here today on the show, and I'd be happy to show you a little bit about what the trading platforms that we have here can do for you. We also have a great platform here for cash bids. If you're looking to market cash grain, this is going to help you do it, and help you do it most efficiently. It helps you keep an eye on all bids within a 200-mile radius of your farm, and that's something that most every producer could really find value in. So thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here Thursday for the export sales report, the NOPA crush, and Informa acreage estimates.